Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host, here to bring you some updates on some stories that have happened yesterday, some things that have happened today, as well as today we're going to be looking at the primary election things because it is primary election day, April 1st. No, I'm not joking, not April Fool's joke. It really is election day. I've thought since the day that I saw that the primary election was on April 1st, what a crazy day to have the primary elections, but it is what it is, I guess you could say. I hope you have already gotten out to vote, and if you haven't, you have until 7 o'clock tonight to get out to the polls. Make sure you do that. Let your voice be heard. That is one of the main ways to state your opinion on elected officials here is by placing your vote here in Mississippi, or in the United States, really. So make sure you get out and vote if you haven't already. If you're watching on our website, WLBT.com, or our news app, we do appreciate you tuning in through there. And if you're tuning in on any of our social media streams, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in there as well. You can always leave a comment, question, thought, anything like that in the comment section. Appreciate getting to talk to you guys during this what a little bit of an informal newscast here. I call it an interactive newscast. Actually, let's take informal out, but it's an interactive newscast. And if you are watching, let me know where you're tuning in from. We have people from all over watching on our social stream, so just let me know. Before we jump into the news, we're going to do what we always do: take a look outside. We're going to be looking over downtown Jackson right now, and it's a beautiful day out there. Really, it was beautiful day today. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. You see the beautiful blue skies, lots of sunshine as we look over the capital city. And let's go ahead and look at one of our other cameras. Let's look over the Ridgeland, the Renaissance camera here. Remember, you can always go to our website and view all of our sky cams there on our First Alert weather page on our website. Looking over Ridgeland interstates, looking good, not too busy, and still, again, beautiful skies there as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the news. There was a shooting that happened yesterday here in Jackson. The Capitol Police are investigating it. So the shooting happened on Terry Road. It was in South Jackson, and it happened around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. So they found one victim suffering from multiple gunshot wounds on University Boulevard near Evergreen Street. I'm going to show you where that is in case you are not familiar with it. Here's the map here. So this is the location of where the individual was found, where he was found with a gunshot wound. So we have University Boulevard and Evergreen right here. We have Family Dollar right there across the street. And this is about the location of where the person was found. If we zoom out, you can see where this is in correlation with downtown Jackson being the big yellow square here. And this is where the shooting victim was found. So the victim was taken to a local hospital. Further investigation revealed that the shooting actually happened at a different location on Florence Avenue. So at this time, no arrests have been made, but if you do have any information on this, they are asking you to please contact Capitol Police and pass that information along to them. Again, it happened the officers responded around 11 o'clock yesterday morning, and they found an individual with multiple gunshot wounds. The location that the shooting happened was on Florence Avenue. So if you live around that area, if you saw something, if you heard something, if you have security cameras or anything like that, please pass that information along to the to Capitol Police so that hopefully we can find out who is responsible for that. Then we told you about a murder that happened over the weekend here in Jackson. Well, yesterday a man was arrested for that murder. So JPD says a 23-year-old Aaron Sutton is now in police custody. He's accused of killing Clarence Jackson on Meadow Lane on Sunday. So another person was also shot in that incident. Aaron has now been charged with murder, aggravated assault, as well as shooting into an occupied vehicle. We don't have word yet on the condition of the other shooting victim, but if we get that information, we will certainly pass it along to you. And we go now to another area in Jackson where they're continuing to search for a suspect in a 2024 shooting that happened. So investigators are searching for the man that for a 22-year-old Denarius McDonald. He's wanted for capital murder in a shooting death that happened last September on Exchange Drive. I apologize. Unfortunately, Margaret Washington lost her life in that shooting. And if you have any information on that, please contact the Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers with that information. And when we brought you the story of the Paupers Cemetery, and after a year of that investigation, were reports of loved ones being buried without their families' knowledge in this Paupers Cemetery, Hinds County is now making that area more presentable and respectful for those who are buried there. So hundreds of reflective markers are there now showing where individuals are buried. The signs not only have the person's name, also has their birth and their date of death, if that information is known. So in most cases, the graves signified by posts with numbers now have those signs. Our series of investigations last year revealed that nearly a dozen people had been buried here without family knowledge. Family members who want to go to that property still must get permission from the county to be able to visit, and that's for safety reasons. Hinds County Supervisor Robert Graham says that this change was essential to remember those who are resting there.
It was the right thing to do. When family members as well as law enforcement went to the location, they had difficulties in locating different burial sites. So we decided to replace those with a new notification system, as well as markers that would identify the individual when known. Over the last several months, we've replaced over 500 markers.
So Graham also says that new notification system involves reaching out to every law enforcement agency in the surrounding area in the event that they have someone deceased whose identity is not known, in hopes that they can determine their identity and locate the family. So it's nice to see that improvement happening there at the Paupers Cemetery. And we have been reporting to you about the issues with mail theft here in the Jackson area. One Jackson mail theft victim is praising the legislators' action for punishing perpetrators. So 3 checks were stolen from Patricia Williams from the outside mail collection box at the Robinson Road post office. Those checks were altered. They drained her account of about $4,500. So she went through a very time-consuming process of filing police reports, contacting financial institutions to have the money finally returned, and having late fees removed. So we spoke with 3 other mail victims, including a Jackson church and an attorney. And she's relieved that lawmakers and the Mississippi Banking Association are now protecting the public with Senate Bill 2311.
Thanks to Mississippi legislature. And guys, what I want to say, when you see something going wrong, speak out about it. Just don't be silent. Make some noise about it, because changes can be made, and they can be made for the good.
So far in her case, rather, no arrests have been made, but hopefully something can happen soon and get to the bottom of it. Also, another thing that has just come out just recently this morning is Governor Reeves is now requesting assistance from FEMA for the tornadoes that came through our area on the 14th and the 15th and through the state of Mississippi, really. So over that weekend, there was 17 tornadoes that touched down in Mississippi. 7 people were killed as a result of the severe weather that passed through multiple counties. You can find out more information about that FEMA request by visiting our website, Wlbt.com. We also got to speak exclusively to the new attorney for Carly Gregg. We reported to you yesterday that on the 26th of March, an appearance form had been filed with the Mississippi Supreme Court citing James Murphy as the new lead attorney for Carly Gregg. Well, we were able to speak exclusively with him, talk with him about why he decided to take on Carly Gregg's case. Of course, Carly Gregg is she's now 15 years old, was 14 years old when the crime happened, but she was she was convicted and charged, sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of her mother, Ashley Smiley, the attempted murder of her stepfather, Heath Smiley, and tampering with evidence. So when we asked James Murphy, the new attorney, he's out of Carthage, we asked him what was his purpose or why is he taking on this case. He told us, he said his priority is in making sure that everything he says or does related to the case is in Carly's best interest. He believes, according to a statement, he said he believes she's been chewed up and spit out by the criminal justice system. And he says that I will do everything in my power to make that right. You can view the full story again on our website, WLBT.com, where there's more things that we asked him, talked back and forth with him about, and you can find out what he has to say there, as well as his criminal background or criminal defense background, what who he has helped, the type of criminals that he has defended in cases that he has tried. You can read all that there on our website. We're going to look at the weather forecast here in just a minute, but first let's hear from our sponsors over at JXN Water.
Time for a neighborly tip from JXN Water. Is it okay to pour fats, oils, and greases down the drain if I run hot water?
No!
What if I run the garbage disposal?
No!
How about if I use dish soap at the same time?
No!
Instead, hang on to a few containers to store and toss old cooking fat and grease once you're done. JXN Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thanks to JXN Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. We do appreciate you, and it helps us to be able to bring more content to you guys through our digital platforms here. And we actually have some new stuff coming up for you. So you want to make sure you stick around and pay attention to WLBT Plus, because we will have more for you. Let's look. I can't get my words straight together. See, I can't get my words straight today. I seem to keep tripping over myself. Let's look at our forecast now. Look outside at our current temperatures. See what we're looking at. Mid 70s, some 60s, some high 60s around the area. Natchez and Monticello actually tying as the warmest places on the map. Right now, 73 here in Jackson. And if we look at our radar, you're going to not see any rain on the radar. We're not expecting, I think we have maybe a 20% chance, not a whole lot of rain expected today. Mostly sunshine is what we're going to see outside. If we look at our next 12 hours, you can say, well, that 20% that I saw earlier has now gone. So we're not looking at any more rain chances overnight. And we're going to stay pretty mild through the rest of the day, only dropping down to 73 in the overnight hours. If we look at our 7-day forecast, you can see where we've got a high of 80 today, pretty windy conditions expected tomorrow. And then as we reach the weekend, especially on Sunday, that's when our rain chances really start to pick up. And we're looking to get the 80% chance of rain on Sunday, but it's going to be dropping down to a high of 64. Look at that, 85 on Saturday, 64 on Sunday. there. That's Mississippi Spring for you, isn't it? You want to make sure you're here at 2:30 today. Our first alert weather team will be here, and they're going to be able to give you a full details, more in-depth details, and they'll probably be able to string their words together better than me at 2:30. So make sure you're here to hear it from the meteorologists themselves. So that timing of the not severe weather, I don't believe it's expected to be severe, but the timing of the rain that will be moving in over the weekend. Well, as we said earlier, and as I'm sure all of you are very aware, it is a primary election day for a majority of counties here in the state of Mississippi, especially here in Hinds County, over in Rankin County. We've got mayoral primaries happening in Jackson, in Flowood, Ridgeland, and other areas. So, not Ridgeland, Brandon. So we interviewed here at WLBT Plus, we interviewed a majority of the mayoral candidates for Jackson. We interviewed both of the candidates for Flowood as well as both of the candidates for Brandon. I got to find out what their plans and ideas and hopes were for the cities as they hopefully get elected. So the cities have been gearing up and preparing for these elections for a while. Includes everything from poll worker training, making sure precincts are ADA compliant, to ensuring that there are enough ballots. And all of those measures are going to hopefully make a smooth voting day for all. So as voters are casting their votes at the polls today, they have a very long list of mayoral candidates to choose from. 19 candidates total are vying to be the city's top leader. And citizens tell us that with so many people running, it takes away potential votes from other qualified candidates.
That everybody's coming up with their reasons that they can do a great job, and all they're doing right now is really splitting up the votes. Because if you really care, you'd come together with the other ones and choose the best person. Not saying I'm the best one and I'm the only one that's the best one. Well, who knows who's really the best one.
So Jackson election commissioners filled more election bags yesterday. You saw those red bags there. I have everything from supplies and equipment packed inside of those. And they also hauled in boxes of ballots to many of the precincts. So again, make sure you get out and vote today. Polls are open until 7 o'clock. And of course, we're going to be here at WLBT until hopefully until the final votes are counted, bringing you the updated numbers. We have Courtney Ann Jackson that is going to be out at Flowood. We have Quentin Smith that is going to be in Brandon. CJ LeMaster is going to be here in Jackson at some different areas here in Jackson. So keep it tuned in to WLBT Plus. We're going to be bringing you all of the election day coverage and numbers as those votes come in. So stay tuned to us. Talking about numbers here, well, current mayor and mayoral candidate Chokwe Lumumba, his campaign finance report was filed yesterday. Unfortunately, it was still late. It was due last week, turned in yesterday. So the mayor's report shows Lumumba raised $11,000 during his first contribution period of 2025, and he spent nearly $38,000. So his latest donation came from just 4 contributors, so 3 of which are connected to IMS engineers. Mayor Lumumba gave us a reason he was late turning his report, and here is what he had to say.
I know that there's been a lot to do about my finance report being delayed. First of all, I'm not the only one, but if you look historically, because of the hustle and bustle of a campaign, we've often been late, but it is there. It is present for you to look at.
So the mayor brought in nearly $114,000 in 2024 and nearly $70,000 in cash, had nearly $70,000 in cash on hand at the start of the year. 7 other mayoral candidates still have not turned in their finance reports. We have all the information on the finance reports that have been turned in on our website, WLBT.com. You can go there and read the story and see all the numbers there for yourself. So the National Weather Service confirmed that a EF2 tornado touched down yesterday morning over in Marion and Lamar counties. So you can see here some of the storm damage from those tornadoes in Lamar County. Early reports show that most of the damage was done around the Pine Burr community in Marion County and the southwest corner of Lamar County. Those counties, along with Forest County, were under a tornado warning until 7:30 this morning. The Forest County EMA say that thankfully they have no reports of damage at this time. And if you would like to help the storm damage victims across our state, you can do so by donating to the Mississippi Storms Tornado Relief Fund. We're partnering with the Salvation Army and our sister stations across the state, WTOK, WLOX, just to name a couple of them. So we're partnering with them to help raise money for those that were affected by the storms here in our state, the storms that happened in March, the 14th, the 15th, as well as yesterday. So you can scan this QR code on your screen. It's going to take you where you can go donate. And you can rest assured that 100% of your gift will go directly to disaster relief. Because that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. We will be here, like I said, all day long, covering the elections, things that are happening or not happening at the polling locations, and bringing you the numbers of the votes as they come into us later on today. Get out and vote. 7 o'clock is when the polls close. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and hopefully by then we will have some announcements of who the new mayors will be for Brandon and Flowood, and who will move on to the general election for mayor here in Jackson, as well as other things like the aldermen and councilmen and women, things like that. We'll have all those numbers for you. So to keep it tuned in here to WLBT. And of course, 2:30 today, our First Alert Weather team is going to give you that in-depth look at your forecast. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.